Hello, everyone, and welcome to Between Plays. All right, and you know why we call it Between Plays? No, you don't have any idea. Well, it's because it's where all the research is done, right? It's where you do everything. You research your stocks, prepare, plan, and execute them. All right, so everybody, it's gonna be doing this on the fly. I'm looking for things to do, and I was like, you know what? I'm popping up a video, and we'll see where it goes. So listen to this. Now, if you're not part of the Twitter account, you got to join Twitter, right? Like on Between Plays, because I'll throw up things there real quick. Or go into the Facebook groups, or like there's a Between Plays Facebook group or a Between Plays Facebook page. If I get out of a stock that I find that's not going to be, going good, and you got to get out like quick because there's some pending news or whatever. If I see the news, I'm throwing it up there, right? And I'm going to tell you like I'm out or whatever real quick. That means I'm out. All right. So basically, why do I do that instead of making a YouTube video? Well, you make a YouTube video. I can go live, yes, and not have to edit and everything. I can just say like I'm out and put it up there. And sure, it's just that depending on where I am, like I have to be in here to do that. Until I hit 1,000 members, I can't go live from my phone or anything. And anyways, to go live even on here, it takes me 24 hours to put up a notice. So even that wouldn't work in reality. So, and it's probably because I don't have the 1,000 members yet. So, if you're watching this, you got to subscribe, because once I hit the 1,000 members, there's a lot of other options that I'm able to use. So subscribe if you're watching this, because I see that there's a lot of people that view it, but they don't hit subscribe. They come on and they see it, and the viewership is there, and got to subscribe, man, because it opens up other options for me. Until that day, well, you know what? You got Twitter, Facebook group, Facebook page for Between Plays and whatever, and there's of course Canadian American stock ideas. Okay, but I'm gonna go and post up stuff there too. But the number one thing, follow the Twitter account. So it's gonna be at Twitter at Between Plays 1. All right. So all that being said, listen. International Lithium, I'm out. But I put it on the Twitter account and everything like that. Always remember that most of these YouTube groups and stuff and Facebook, whatever, or myself actually, I'm not a financial advisor, right? So you have to always do your own due diligence. All right, do your own due diligence. Do your research. Make sure that you know what you're getting into. And if you need any help, man, seek professional help from a professional financial consultant. All right, so let's move on. So with ILC International Lithium, I'm out. Why? Because what had really caught my attention is the fact that they were partnered up in the lithium triangle. All right, and the amount of lithium that was shown was in the Marianna project was a huge, substantial amount. So I was saying, man, if they take that back to 10% and put themselves up in the 20% region, all this kind of stuff, once all that lithium starts coming out of the ground, like, you're going to have 20% of a lot of money that you're going to be making, and Ganfeng was going to be the name attached to it. So, having the name Ganfeng attached to any, other lithium company is massive, right? This is why you got to be, always on your stocks. You have to be always on your stocks. You have to always, because it doesn't matter who says what. It doesn't matter if it's a huge corporate. A company can release news at any time that's positive or negative. So if you say, "Oh my God, I found the one," but you have to be on it. You can't just say, "I found the one," and let it go. Like, it doesn't work that way. I mean, Nokia was, and Ericsson was the one back in 1998, 1995. They were the one. They were the one. And their stocks went really high. And the next thing they're still great companies. Don't get me wrong, but they're not. 1998, 1999, 2000, 2001. They're not. They're just. It's go look at the share prices. It's not up there, right? Other companies replaced them. Apple and Anyways. So you got to be on it. So International Lithium, sells off to Ganfeng the rest, because they were talking about, we're worried about shareholder dilution, because if Ganfeng goes and puts up the project, it's going to cost this much, and whatever the the reasons. All right, I don't care. I wanted Ganfeng's name associated to that, and being in the lithium triangle in Argentina, like that was huge. I could just imagine once the drilling would be coming up, how much, you know, the people would just be so interested in that stock, and it would just flew up. Of course, they are still partnered with them in Ireland, which you have to say, because you have to look at their, you know, you have to look at International Lithium as a whole, and they still are partnered up with them in Ireland. Okay, Ganfeng, and you know, International Lithium owns like 45%, and Ganfeng is like 55% or whatever. But in order, when the project is getting up and stuff like that, well, Ganfeng can take over, like, I don't remember how much percentage, dropping down International Lithium into the 20% ranges again. And, you know, they're not in the lithium triangle. Doesn't mean anything. I mean, you could be producing out of Australia or anything like that. If you're producing and you're making a lot of money, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're on the Canadian American Stock Exchange, you have, you know, you're putting in money and you're making money and all that kind of stuff, and it's great. But after seeing that, you know, they ended up taking money because they want to advance a Rally Lake project and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I'm looking at lithium, you know, and, you know, the cost for it there and the cost for it in Canada. And anyways, like for me, I just was like, you know what, if you're able to, in Ireland, maybe, you know, if Ganfeng's going to drop, you know, if it goes down into the 20s, and it's always if, you know, like International Lithium only into the 20s, then I'm just going, it's not the stock for me. It could be the stock for someone else, but it's not the stock for me, because, like I said, owning 45% in Ireland and having Ganfeng's name, and owning, like they had 10, but they were allowed to acquire the other 10, and then having, let's say, maybe a potential 20% with Ganfeng in the lithium triangle. Now you're looking at that name being associated and that joint venture project, you know, and it blows my mind. Anyway, look, I'm out. All right. That being said, all right, let's go and Neo Lithium. Neo Lithium has cattle, right, involved there. Now we named two big companies, you know, lithium producers, Ganfeng, and then you're looking at, and one the biggest, the largest in the world, and then you're looking at cattle, which is the largest battery manufacturer on the planet. So producers of lithium, battery manufacturer, right, cattle. They're both fighting over, you know, well, there was a bidding war. I mean, I have to look to see if Ganfeng decided to up their purchase price on Millennial Lithium, but they were in a bidding war for Millennial Lithium. That to me says a lot. It says a lot to have these two giants go at each other for a bidding war in order to secure lithium. Because why would you go into a bidding war, all right, or to secure lithium? It's because there's not enough. There's not enough. It's like, you know, purchasing real estate. You got, you know, look at different ways. When I was purchasing real estate, which of course will still be continuing to happen in the future, but saying right now I'm on a hiatus when it comes to purchasing real estate at this moment. But when it comes to purchasing real estate, you know, it's location, but there's other factors as well, all right? But the thing is that when you go into an area and you know, like, oh, this is a quality area to purchase in and all this kind of stuff, and there's a very limited amount of housing, and you get that one or two great deals, and you're going to have a bidding war with other people that know the value of that place. Because if there's a lack of supply and the demand is high for stuff in that area, well, you're going to get a bidding war. And this is exactly what's happening now. Whether Ganfeng decides that he's going to go up, they're going to go up to like $4 or whatever. That's going to happen with time. We'll have to see. But the fact that these two giants still went at each other makes me say that they're going to need a lot of lithium, which we already know because of all the articles and all this kind of stuff. But when I start seeing bidding wars for one company because of, yes, they have over a certain amount of lithium, I believe it was above 4 million tons or something like that. I didn't do enough research on Millennial Lithium, but I know that they are advanced in their project, and it's very interesting, actually. I would be purchasing a ton of Millennial Lithium just because there's a fact that there's a bidding war on it and stuff like that. But I'm looking at other big players like, you know, Neo Lithium. you know, they own 100% of their company. Waldo Perez and stuff like that, Neo Lithium, Toronto-based, they own their company. Cattle has 8% equity. You have BlackRock involved in it, the whole 9 yards. When you look at a company like that, you're going, whoa, Cattle's involved. They want to advance the project and stuff like that. But, you know, Neo Lithium owns 100% of their company. That says a lot for what the potential revenues are going to be in the future. So, however they, you know, mine it, I mean, if you look at the revenue, I mean, the earnings of Neo Lithium, they're not in the negative like most of these lithium companies. They're actually 13 million in the positive, right? With no significant debt whatsoever. It's literally a joke. You know, it's mind-boggling to see the quality of the company that you have there. You know, Waldo Perez is there. They have Worley, you know, stuff that they built up Lithium America and all this kind of stuff. So you have these people that are there, very experienced, and you have a company that the last 3 years had positive earnings, small amounts, right? And before that were negative earnings, and they're over $13 million in earnings. But their Worley is on site to construct what they need to become fully commercial. So think about that. That's pretty insane. So Neo Lithium for me is one of those stocks that's just going to be like right up there. What other stock am I thinking about here now? So I got Neo Lithium there, right? Lithium Chile. Lithium Chile, I'm going to be doing a huge review on them and the whole 9 yards. I'm really going to go into it. But that is another one of the stocks. And if you look, when I first mentioned Lithium Chile, they were at 43 cents. They went up to like 57, 58 cents or something like that. I think that they just stabilized around 52. And it's because it's Friday, right? It's because it's Friday. So this is a big one as well. Lithium Chile has, you know, many projects, and they have a few now that are at some pretty, you know, good stages. I'm trying to go off the top of my head, the Arizar or something like that. Anyways, you go and look, you can have 4, you're going to have one that's like Arizar or Arizona. Anyways, go take a look at that. But they're advancing very far in their project, and they're getting their licenses. To me, Lithium Chile, with the amount of lithium, look, outside of the Chilean government and outside of SQM, they're the largest landowners with the amount of hectares and lithium that they have. That's huge. That's actually massive. All right. When you consider the fact that Albemarle is also in Chile, and their stock's over $200, so I don't know if they forgot to mention Albemarle in there, but when I look at a stock that's over $200, $230, and you're saying that outside of the Chilean government and outside of SQM, we're basically the largest landowners, and I'm just going, oh, okay, and Albemarle's there and they're $200 something a stock. Like, oh shit, that's some big news there. That's pretty good. So I'll do a whole thing on Lithium Chile, and then I'll get that one up. And that one's LITH.V, and the over-the-counter. Hold on a second on that one is forgive the getting old glasses. I'm really thinking about going and getting an operation to get my eyesight up to date, because it is annoying. So yeah, so lithium, I got it on my speakerphone over here. So Lithium Chile, like I said, is LITH.V, and over the counter is LTMCF. So LTM as in Mike, C Charlie, F Foxtrot. All right. i3 Energy. i3 Energy, I mentioned it when I was 19-cent stock. i3 Energy. So ITE.TO. You can't really look at the whole history of it because they came in by a company. you got to look at the short term around January or something like that to get more of a view of where they really are in their share price and stuff. So they have oil in the United Kingdom and in Canada, right? They have all these projects and stuff, and 19 cents. It had went up to 30 or something like that one time, 39 cents. And now they're starting to go back up. They had over 13% gain, if I recall, for Friday. And I think they're at 26 cents right now. So this is really interesting as well, too, because i3 Energy for me, has great potential. If I recall, with i3 Energy, they have a lot of shares outstanding. And let me just take a look at that. i3 Energy, IT. Okay, so so I'll show all key statistics. And we have here shares outstanding 1.1 billion, float of 481 million. Held by insiders is 2%. Held by institutions is 53%. So I had mentioned this one at 19 cents. So basically it's up to 26 now. We'll see what happens. Why are they moving? So just to make sure that everybody knows, there is a potential that one of the reasons why they are moving is because they have a second. So basically, an independent oil and gas company with assets and operation in the UK and Canada is pleased to announce that it will be releasing its half-year results for the 6 month ended the 30th of June 2021 on Monday, the 27th of September 2021. So the stock could be getting played. You got to watch out. Remember, buy the rumor, sell the news. All right, you got to be careful with that. All right. So someone that's out, well, why is it going up right now? Because of this. So if you weren't in at 19 cents, should you not? You're gonna have to be careful. Maybe put in what you can afford to lose, see where it goes. But because of the fact, the webcast coming on 27th, and then we have some movement. It's and it is a penny stock. It makes me wonder exactly why it's moving. And when you look at that penny stocks, remember, buy the rumor, sell the news. So imagine getting stuck on it's just going up, and you buy into this, and then the next thing you know, on the 27th, boom, they sell the news, and then you're stuck holding the bag. So you just be careful. Mentioned it when it was at a support of 18.5, 19, 19.5, around there. I feel safer around that at that point. Now it going up, I don't know. We got to see if there's anything other, any kind of other material change that's come about that warrants it going up like that, right? Okay, so be careful with that one there. Now, if you haven't been paying attention to the cruise lines, you should pay attention to the cruise lines. So I had mentioned that I've been in cruise lines since they went down to $8, $10. I've been in it since then. Picked up Royal Caribbean at like $20. So the thing is that I've been overweight on them in the beginning, and then I diversified when I saw it was stagnating. And then when the vaccines came out, I had mentioned over here about December, around that time, or January. I had mentioned here that I went overweight on the cruise lines, and ever since then it had gone up, got played back down, and now it seems to be going up again. Now you got to think that their earnings are all going to be coming up and stuff like that, and the cruise lines have been around for a while, and if you haven't noticed, there's no more talk about them really. And that is where it makes me believe that people are going to go to sleep on the cruise lines. They're just going to not think about it anymore. They're going to be playing all these other stocks. And the next thing you know, you're gonna wake up one day and the cruise lines are gonna be at like $50 or something like that. Because if you look at my video on Carnival Cruise Lines, all right, and I'm not saying anything about the other ones, any negatives, but I made a video specifically for Carnival Cruise Lines, and they're lowering costs and everything. They have liquid natural gas, LNG technology, battery technology. Ford or big cruise liners now. They have like cruise liners that are over 5,000, member capacity. This is reducing a lot of costs. Sure, there's some ports that they might not be able to settle at, but whatever. If you look at the World Tour cruise line that was announced by, I don't remember which company. I mean, pretty much all the years are sold out for that, and you're talking about like months at sea. So there's a demand for cruise lines. There's a demand for cruise lines, and everybody that I know are going back on cruises. That love cruises, they're going back. Nothing's stopping them. They don't. This older people are like, that I know are like, well, what, I'm not gonna go and live my life. I have the 2 vaccines. I'll get the booster. I'm getting on the cruise line, because when you get old, at a certain point, for all the, not everyone's gonna be like this, all right, but when you get old and your kids are older and everybody's able to take care of themselves and stuff like that, that you're not immortal, right? Believe me, as you get older and your eyesight starts to fade and you get a little white, and you start to realize, like, okay, well, all right. And then when you get older and older and older, you're like, okay. And then if everybody can take care of themselves and your life is good and stuff like that, you're gonna want to live your life. You're not gonna want to be stuck in a house. You're gonna want to live your life, because anyways that there's a time limit on it. It's not like when you're 16 years old or 20 years old or 25 years old and you're immortal. You're not thinking about this too much every day, depending on a person's life and circumstances, of course, right? But in general, usually when you're young, you live your life just always, breaking the next barrier, the next step. So the cruise lines, for me, with the older population and stuff like that, and all the vaccines coming out, and then seeing the breakthrough cases, which is very, very, very rare, cruise lines for me is going to go up. So it's going to go up a lot. And if I look at any highs, like, I'm going off the top of my head now, you have to do the research on it. If I remember, Carnival Cruise Lines, I think it was above $70. Now you have to remember that they are going to grow in China. They have like a lot of other deals in China for ports and ships and stuff like that coming out there. I think, and they honestly, Carnival stated that they predict that the Asian market is going to be bigger than the American market. So what is that going to do for the share prices? That's just going to make the share prices like fly through the roof. Maybe I should do something about that for the next video. So what else? Let's go into CloudMD a little bit now. So CloudMD, as you can see, I find there's been a lot of talk. I look at a company that was like really quiet for a very long time, all right, since the big sale that had happened when Dr. Hamza sold his shares. And ever since then, it's been very quiet. It's been on a downtrend and whatever. And maybe that was a hiatus that they needed to have or whatever. I mean, they were still active in the mergers and acquisitions, but I'm just talking about people talking and general public and stuff like that. But I've noticed that there's on another one of our Betweenplays groups, which is CloudMD stockholders group, right? So the stockholders one, so CloudMD stockholders group. If you go on there, you're gonna see that there's a lot of talk, right? You're gonna have all the the fact that some insiders are buying shares, Hamza's buying shares, Mark's buying shares. People are just buying shares, like the insiders are buying shares. So there's a lot of hype going on, like why? Maybe we're gonna get some news out and everything like that. So CloudMD, and anyways, telehealth is the future. It's just marathon went into a sprint. It's just gone back into some type of marathon. Maybe not the same length, maybe a half marathon, but it's still a marathon nonetheless, because why? People are going to go into shares and stuff like that that they think is going to be in the near future, shorter term, like lithium. I believe that shorter term is lithium stocks. That's what I believe, because you can't produce cars without lithium, nickel, graphite. You need these things. You need the essential minerals to get the car moving. It's nice. Build a body, build a shell, put it over there. Like a human. Okay, don't put the heart in, don't put the brain in. The body's not going anywhere. Same thing with the car. Car is not going anywhere. You need the battery, because that's the future. That's where we're going with the future. And the future for that is not in 20 years from now. The future is we're living in it. The changes are happening now. These are changes. So the 2020 Great Reset, if you want to call it, the Green Agenda, the COVID, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter what you want to call it, because it could have a lot of different names for 2020. In the future, we're gonna know there's a pandemic here, for sure, but they might consider it the year of the Great Reset or the Green Agenda. We don't know how history is gonna look at 2020, because if we really go, because if you look at the last 10 years before 2020, how many times did Elon Musk had to bail out Tesla? That's insane. Putting up his own money and stuff like that for his own beliefs, knowing that we have to save the planet, all this kind of stuff. Hats off for that, right? But you know what? 2020 now, it's all about the green agenda, right? So the future is now. We're living in it. So we shouldn't, you're gonna be using biofuels as well. I think that a company like Gevo for airlines is a necessity. You're going to need companies like Gevo, and this is why Chevron, and this is why a lot of these airlines are looking towards biofuels. Absolutely. So yeah, definitely, I have stock in Gevo, and why not? They're a very good company. They're great. I love what they're doing. I love their technology. So yeah, you have one of the scientists or the lead scientist on the Biden administration and stuff like that. There's a lot to look at over here. I'm looking more into lithium right now. Yeah, sure. My wife is in CloudMD because we're diversifying our portfolio together to make it a larger portfolio. So basically, it falls under the Betweenplays portfolio, basically. So CloudMD is in the Betweenplays portfolio. But I have a ton of Lithium Chile, all right, because I really think that Lithium Chile is going to be a really big company. I don't, the amount of lithium that they have, the amount of potential. I mean, Chile is not, we talk a lot about Argentina, but Chile has been like the largest producer of Chile in the world. There's Australia and stuff like that, but they're just saying that Chile with Albemarle and SQM and stuff like that, they're out of Chile. They're huge, huge companies. So I'm looking at Lithium Chile and I'm going, man, with the amount of projects and land that you own and lithium and stuff, and once you start extracting, that's going to be huge. So Lithium Chile, I got Gevo in there too for biofuels. Naturally, neolithium, I've been talking about neolithium since they were 35 cents. So, I3 Energy potential is there. Absolutely. I just would be careful about now because, you have this whole webinar thing coming up on 27, stocks moving up, as soon as this is announced. But do I see any material change in it? Got to be careful. Buy the rumor, sell the news. I'd watch out. It's hard to say when you're getting in, when you're not getting in. So anyways, do your own due diligence when it comes to that. So that's just it, guys. So I'm out of International Lithium because of what happened in Argentina. They sold off the rest of Ganfeng, and that for me, I'm out. Lithium Chile, I just basically bought a ton more shares because I got out of the other one. And I went, Lithium Chile it is, and because the potential is massive, and I will do a video on that. And you know what, guys, I will be getting those CEO interviews up really soon. As you can see, I didn't even put any video, any background things. I'm not looking at the stocks, the share prices, or anything like that. I'm just going off of it. Why? Because I wanted to get this done, and I'm working on a whole bunch of other projects, working behind the scenes on building other stuff. But I thought I should just get this video up there. And so the next one I'm going to be doing is on Lithium Chile, GSAT. All right. and all the other companies that are in the portfolio that need to be spoken about. So those ones are going to be coming up 100%. And yeah, and of course I'm going to get the CEO interviews up and do another video up with Money, all right, with Marcelland. So you know what, guys? Always remember, research, prepare, plan, execute, and stay strong, everybody. Stay strong. Hello to everyone out there. Just taking 2 seconds of your time and asking you to hit the subscribe and the like button. I'd like to also direct you to betweenplays.com, www.betweenplays.com, where we put up many different articles. We have 3 different writers at the moment, and we're trying to up the authors. And go to our Twitter account for like really quick information at Betweenplays1, and we'll be able to get people to pre-market information and whatever comes along that is important to macroeconomics, microeconomics. As we say here, our motto: research, prepare, plan, execute. Always do your due diligence, and stay strong, everybody. Stay strong.